Hi everyone, it's me, Carol from Practical Mystic. Today I want to do a video on all of the astrological energy that we are feeling and going to be going through this month of October. A full moon, an eclipse, and a few things in between. And where we are on a spiritual level, the opportunities that we can ream from all of this power, and I will talk to you about power in this video and from where it's coming. But right now, let's begin with what kind of the collective, the community, friends, clients have been echoing. There is this feeling of fatigue, lack of energy, and a wanting to change, redefine, but really not knowing exactly in what direction or in what form or how to express it. There's still more to do, and I'm hoping during this change that we'll be seeing with the eclipse and with the full moon and the astrological aspects, we can really tap into that and finalize the transformation process that many of us are going through. And it could be the beginning or the end for many of us in redefining the enormous amount of personal, emotional, spiritual changes that we have been going through for the last 2 years. So let's get right to it. Okay, the full moon is going to be in Aries on October 9th. And with any full moon, let go, purge, whatever has come to the surface, look at it. If you've healed it, if you accepted it, if you've forgiven it, let it go. Let it go. We're getting a download of spirituality, wanting to heal, help with our intuition, enlighten us, lessen our load, but we're also getting an upload of the unconscious right now. And it's the dark and the light, and we're going to have to find a happy medium. Okay, so back to that full moon. The aspect for me that I wanted to bring to light to everyone was that this moon is going to conjunct a very important planet, which is all about healing. It is going to conjunct Chiron, which has been in the sign of Aries. Now, Chiron, for those of you who don't know, was discovered in 1977 in November. It's Scorpio. That's when my second son was born in 1977. And it was the beginning of a generation that said healing can expand. Healing needs to change. And we saw the introduction of Reiki. We saw a re-emerging interest in astrology. Psychology changed. New thought, new age, looking into yoga, meditation, getting into groups to heal the body-mind. At that point, there was a birth in that. Chiron really is the wounded healer, and because he is conjuncting Aries on this full moon, friends, you may be feeling things that are uncomfortable, but finally want to be brought to the light, accepted, released, and let go. We don't have to justify it. We don't have to pick it apart anymore. This pain needs to be released and let go. And Chiron is going to be the heavy hitter right now, so be aware of that. For those of you who keep a journal, go back to see what was going on, I would say 5 years ago. If patterns are being repeated, this is a time when you can put all of that to bed and let it go, because we're also dealing with the relationship cycle. this full moon is going to really talk about not only intensity of our emotions, but our intellectual evaluation and judgment about our relationships. Now, those of you who have been following me know that 2022 in a numerology sense is all about the lover's choices and our relationships with them, those, but mostly ourselves. And if we've been doing the work, we know a lot of us are purging. A lot of us are redefining what our relationship to ourself is. We're having a new image. We may want to put a new label in our own area of identity. We might want to change jobs. We might want to change our significant other. We are looking to improve or regulate, or maybe even understand what we haven't understand about ourselves and others for a long, long time. And all of that movable ground is getting a little uncomfortable if we haven't done the hard work. But now, with this full moon, with this Chiron energy conjuncting this full moon and other aspects, I have my notes here where I wanted to talk about, is that bringing in the dark and the light. And I say that because during this astrological, I'm going to call it rendezvous, Mars, which rules Aries, and it is the old ruler of Scorpio, is making a square to Neptune. So you have the warrior, and then you have the Neptunian, where there's a choice. Either I look at this with clear eyes, or I continue to look at it with my rose-colored glasses. And there's this fighting between Mars and Neptune right now within and with the collective of truth being revealed. Or does it need to stay under the water, under cover? And believe me, friends, we are going to see government surprises. I don't want to get into politics, but there's a lot of change brewing. I think a lot of us know that, especially with this eclipse time. But in your own personal domain, what is it that you need to have clarity on? And take that power of this full moon in Aries with Mars. Mars is also right now in Gemini, the dual-bodied sign, and really look at those two objectives differently and decide which one of them represent you the most and what you want to create for your future. So be advised that it's not going to be easy with that Mars square Neptune all through October. Now, the moon is also going to be making aspects to Saturn and the nodes of the moon, and astrologers consider that karmic. Our own karmic debts, the positive and the negatives, are also going to be a lot more fluid in the whole month of October and November season, and slowing down around December. But whatever is due to you karmically, that's going to also come to the surface. Also look to see where your mood nodes are, how they're being affected. We know that we have the change of the nodes just last month, where we now are in Scorpio and Taurus. So there's a lot of pressure, give and take. I see things, I understand. No, my head, I'm confused. I'm tired. I don't want to look at this anymore. And there's that dichotomy that all of us have really been going through. So understand we are going to be dealing with that as well. And how we're going to be able to maintain clarity is also through the boundaries that we've already formed. It's going to also depend on how strong our spiritual practice is, how much we're meditating. Are we listening to our dreams? Are we going into deeper meditations and really saying to Spirit, show me the way. Where am I still blocked? Where do I still need direction? And even though I might not like it and my ego is going to reject it, I'm now ready to be a warrior, to clear it out, because in the long run, it is who I am, and my soul is who I want to speak more directly with me. Not my personality self, but my soul self. So yes, this time is serving a purpose. Those downloads that you're getting, that spiritual brewing and saying, look here, don't look there, is really, really strong right now. Especially because you heard me say earlier, I talked about where the power is. Well, right now, Pluto is going direct, stationing direct, and when that happens, it is very, very strong. Pluto, the god of the underworld, transformation, regeneration, and why I bring it up is we will be entering Scorpio season here very shortly when we have the eclipse and the new moon on the 25th. And Pluto is ruler of Scorpio. Right now, Aries is ruled by Mars. So we have these very powerful planets working in our chart, working in the collective, because Pluto is an outer planet and is bringing up what has to be regenerated, as well as the fight with the old structure and the new revolution of Uranus, because yes, friends, we have that last square of Uranus and Saturn happening at this time. So it's like out with the old and in with the new, but that's, a lot of people are still holding on and want things to be the way they were. It gives them comfort. It makes them feel controlled. So that powerful Pluto, we can decide to get our saddle and get on that horse and ride it and be empowered. But while you're doing that, you may feel like you're losing control, because you are losing control to some old boundaries that do need to end, and that's uncomfortable, whether that's going to be in a job, a relationship, or an image that you had yourself that isn't quite accurate. All of that are the onions that we're going to be, layers of onions peelings that we are going to be having to be left alone and in the past if we're going to become renewed and regenerated. And that's what Pluto does. So we're dealing with that, and I think that is a lot to consider, a lot to digest. And what I want to do is kind of open up a dialogue with everyone that's listening out there. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you're feeling. Let's see what happens with all of this energy in the month of October. But redefining yourself is really at the top of the list. Letting go of that old mentality, believing in more of your spirituality, tapping into your intuition, and that dark and that light is going to be different for each of us. After all this is through, I do believe after the eclipse of the 25th, what is now going to be shown as truth, our mind is now going to have more clarity, and with that, we then will decide where we want to go with that new awareness, with that new insight. So it's a continuous journey. It's a wonderful journey. We have to believe in it. We have to get ourselves involved in it. but we're all in this together. Much love to everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll say bye for now.